Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And as promised, here's the video of my birthing story. I have been going through. Yesterday was really hard for me, and I initially had a video that I already pre-recorded, had already pretty much edited, and I didn't like it. So just to give you some information before I went into delivery or before I was induced, prior to me being induced and everything, I was on bed rest for 3 months. So 3 months, couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do anything. It was just the bathroom, the bed, and that was pretty much it. Those 3 months, I had my family members come over. My mom especially came over, brought me food. Church members came over, checked on me, and I was just isolated within those 3 months. It was just me and Isabella in my belly. Did a whole lot of Netflix, watched a whole lot of stuff, cried a whole lot because I was watching some stuff. Like, I don't know why, but I was watching. I'm a big person on like documentaries. I love anything that has like animal documentaries. That's me. People documentaries. I enjoy those things. So I was watching a lot of like Animal Planet and animal documentaries, and I'm not gonna lie, I really cried. I was crying on some of them. It was really ridiculous. But anyway, so fast forward, I get off of bed rest within like 35 weeks because I was in the clear. And the reason why they put me on bed rest from the beginning was because I was more likely to have a premature child due to a short cervix. So they put me on bed rest until I got up until 35 weeks. 35 weeks came up and I was able to do everything that I was supposed to do. Within me being isolated, people prayed for me. A lot of people prayed for me. My mom prayed for me. My church prayed for me. Just everyone was praying that I would deliver full term. I remember that being something that I constantly heard within the prayer. So you would think when I got off of bed rest, because I had a short cervix, you would think that when I got off, that boom, I would go right into labor. No, I did not. So it's funny because I had to be induced, okay? And that is the power of prayer. Like, that is the power of God. So August the 27th was the day they induced me. My doctor came in and she broke my water, and I immediately began to start walking because I knew that if I was not going to feel contractions, that they were going to give me something to help induce the contractions, which the contractions probably would have been more painful and all of that. I think about stuff like that. So I just immediately begin to walk. And I've heard other people's birthing story, and that was something that someone shared to me, that you don't want to take this type of medicine or something like that. So I just began to walk. Initially, my birthing plan was to have a water birth. Unfortunately, I was not able to have a water birth due to issues with the hospital. They didn't want to move me. They came up with excuses because I would ask, me and my mom asked, and they didn't want to move me in another room. It was just a whole bunch of excuses. And so they had an intern, a doula there, and they had my mom in the room. And y'all got to give a round of applause to my mom because she held it down. She didn't want to be in there. She's a woman that cannot stomach, blood and all of that. She can't handle it. And boy, my doula was in the corner coaching her. She was on the phone with my sister like, help me, I need help. It was funny. I look at it now and I'm like, that was funny. But going through it, your girl was mad. I was mad at the time because I was like, yo, you supposed to be here for me and all of that. So I had a natural birth, and I knew that I was going to have a natural birth. I don't like needles, so I didn't want nothing sticking me in my back. That's where my mind was going. Like, I don't trust that. So I went a lot of back and forth to the bathroom, to the shower, to the bed. I could not keep still. The contractions were so severe. And I mean, as you start to dilate more, they are more just painful. And the pain was horrible. There were moments where I was debating, because the nurses would come in and she was like, do you want an epidural? And I'm like, no. And then I cried for one when it was too late. But my mom's like, no, come on, you can do it. You know, my mom's a big encourager. And she's like, come on, you can do it. This is what you wanted. And I was like, okay. You know, I made it this far, but it was excruciating. So my doula came, and I knew that I was not ready to push. And this is something that happens to a lot of people, a lot of women in the hospital. And these are why you have stories about women dying, because these doctors want to tell you what your body should be doing, or these doctors want to play God, and they want to force something to come out when it's not time, you know. So that's something that happened to me, unfortunately. And I remember like a whole bunch of nurses being in there for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they were in my room, and we had to play like this tug of war game where they had a rope, and they were making me pull on the rope every time I had a contraction. And I mean, it was not, I felt like that wasn't like something that is taught when you go to nursing school, especially for the doctor, the OBG. She did a lot of things that were just, I felt like was not, was not professional. And these people have their own agenda. And I really want to touch on this because it happens to women. And I know we hear about it to women of color, but it happens to women. It happens to women, period. But not just women of color. You might see it more often with women of color, but it happens to women to where they're not being respected. Their wishes are not being respected in the delivery room, to where the doctor want to tell you what your body should be doing right now, or the doctor want to tell you to push, and you know your body is not ready to push. And that was something that I learned from someone when she had her water birth experience. She explained to me that it felt like she had to go boo-boo, and I did not have that feeling. So I knew that it was something that was forced. And this is why women bodies goes into distress, because you're trying to make us push something, and it's not, and the baby wasn't ready to come out. So I hope this educates somebody, doctors, nurses, or if you have gone through a similar situation, to share your story and help other people be more aware of like, it happens in the hospital, unfortunately. And we see these stories about women dying and the doctor's not listening, and the women have like tearing because you want to control the situation and you want to play God, and it's unfortunate. So my birthing story, I really believe that it was a testimony. For one, it was a testimony to show the doctor that she couldn't control, she couldn't control Isabella of her timing. And then two, it shows the power of prayer. Because if it was not for the people praying for me, you know, if it was not for that, no telling what would have been the outcome of that whole situation. Because my cervix was open in 5 months. 5 months in, I had an open cervix. So and God allowed Isabella to he held her up in my belly, you know, until it was like 41 weeks in, and I had to get induced. And I mean, the doctor made like slick remarks like, oh, you know, y'all prayed too hard. But I was like, my mom, I think she even mentioned, she's like, that's God, you know, you're not God, you know. So I wanted to share that story. I know a lot of times my videos can seem short, but I get like straight to the point. But I wanted to add that I will be having a personal page. I want Life After Isabella page to strictly be about my struggles, my hardships with grief. And I'm going to try my best to put out more videos. It's a struggle. Like yesterday, I was down under. Like literally, I was just in a grieving state. I didn't want to be bothered, and thank God, you know, that he hears me, he understands, and he really uplifts me and tells me like, Tranisha, okay, you have to get out of the bed. You can't stay here, because if you stay there, it is going to be depression. And I'm going to make a video about that, about depression. But I wanted to share on that I will have my own personal channel, that I will be opening up more about me as a person, suicide, you know, because I was very suicidal before Isabella. That was a hard time. I will talk about my hair, little wigs that I buy, because I know a lot of women, they ask me, well, is that natural hair or like, is it human hair? And I'm like, no, boo-boo, it's synthetic. But I don't want to get into it now. But I hope you guys are enjoying this day. I hope that this has gave somebody some type of encouragement to share their birthing story, to make other people aware of what actually goes on in the hospital, and that the hospital nurses, doctors, they have their own agenda. And I understand why a lot of women are pulling away from having births at hospital and going more to home births, because these people want to tell you what to do. And they're not actually listening to your body. So they want your body to do what they want them to do. So I just hope that y'all are enjoying this Friday. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I'm going to try to open up my comments. I don't know how to work it. It's still not letting people comment. But subscribe, share with a friend, and y'all enjoy. Deuces.